Welcome back. In this video we will walk through a simple Python program. In the beginning I will give you an overview of what I plan to cover, then I will switch over to Python idle editor, walk you through the script and then run the program in Python shell. At the end, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. Now let's begin. For this first Python program, we will develop a script that performs various list comprehensions. List comprehension is a method to generate new lists based on existing lists and typically only use one line of code. Python uses lists, which are more general data structures that can be used to represent arrays. With an array, multiple values can be stored and each is referenced with the name of the array and specifying an index value. The individual values of an array are known as elements. A list in Python is simply an ordered collection of items, each of which can be of any type. A list is a dynamic mutable data structure, and this means that items can be added to and deleted from it. The list data structure is the most common data sequence in Python. A sequence is a set of values identified by integer indices. An individual item in the list can be referenced by using an index, which is an integer number that indicates the relative position of the item in the list. A Python list comprehension consists of brackets containing the expression. This is then executed for each element along with the for loop to iterate over each element in the Python list. The list comprehension method is a much shorter syntax for creating a new list based on values within an existing list. There are many benefits to using a list comprehension. Some of the advantages of using the list comprehension method include: they are more time and space efficient as opposed to traditional loops. They require fewer lines of code, and they transform iterative statements into a formula. Now, let's open up the Python idle editor and develop a script that will perform list comprehension to create a list that creates the square values of another list. Create a list that pulls only even numbers from another list. Create a list that pulls only odd numbers from another list, and determine if specific values are within a list. First, start out by putting identification information for the Python file enclosed by 3 quotations. For the program file name, let's title it listcomprehensions.py. Then the author information, and for that, I'll put my name Lewis. Next the date, which is September 12, 2022, and lastly I'll put a short description of the program. This program performs various list comprehensions. List comprehension is a method to generate new lists based on existing lists. List comprehensions typically only use one line of code. Next, let's work on our first list comprehension. For this item, we will create a list that creates a new list with only the square values from the initial list. Start out by typing list1 equals, open bracket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, close the brackets and press enter. This will be our initial list that we will transform for all other lists. Now type, squares equals, open bracket, I multiplied by I for I in list1, close the bracket, and press enter. There is a second method to perform this same function and I will show you here. Type square2 equals, open bracket, I multiplied by I for I in range, open parenthesis, 1, 10, close parenthesis, close bracket and press enter. For this method, the square values will be calculated for all numbers within this range and not based on the list. For informational purposes, I will show you the second method for all objectives of this program. Now, let's print the lists. Type print, open parenthesis, quotation, initial list, colon, quotation, list1, close the parenthesis and press enter. Next, let's print the results of the 2 new lists we created. Type print, open parenthesis, quotation, squared values method 1, colon, quotation, squares, close the parenthesis and press enter. Type print, open parenthesis, quotation, squared values method 2, colon, quotation, squares 2, close the parenthesis and press enter. I want to create a blank space between the items, therefore type print, open and close parenthesis and press enter. The print function prints the specified message to the screen or other standard output device. The message can be a string or any other object. The object will be converted into a string before being written to the screen. Next, let's work on the second item. For this list, I want to create a new list that only pulls even numbers. Type even only equals open bracket I for I in list 1 if I percentage sign or modulo operator 2 double equal sign 0 close the bracket and press enter. The percentage sign is called the modulo operator in Python. It returns the remainder of dividing the left-hand operand by the right-hand operand. It is used to get the remainder of a division problem. This will pull only numbers that are divisible by 2 that does not return a remainder. This will create a list of only even values. For the second method, type even only 2 equals open bracket I for I in range open parenthesis 1, 10 close parenthesis if I modulo double equals 0 close the bracket and press enter. Next, let's print the results. Type print open parenthesis quotation even values method 1 colon quotation even only close the parenthesis and press enter. Type print open parenthesis quotation even values method 2 colon quotation even only 2 close the parenthesis and press enter. Create a blank space between the items by typing print open and close parenthesis and press enter. Next, let's work on the third item. For this list, I want to create a new list that only pulls odd numbers. Type odd only equals open bracket I for I in list 1 if I modulo operator 2 exclamation point equal sign 0 close the bracket and press enter. The exclamation point equal sign means does not equal 0. An odd number is a whole number that is not able to be divided by 2 into two equal whole numbers. Therefore, a list will be generated with only odd numbers within the list. For the second method, type odd only 2 equals open bracket I for I in range open parenthesis 1, 10 close parenthesis if I modulo exclamation point equals 0 close the bracket and press enter. Next, let's print the results. Type print open parenthesis quotation odd values method 1 colon quotation odd only close the parenthesis and press enter. Type print open parenthesis quotation odd values method 2 colon quotation odd only 2 close the parenthesis and press enter. Create a blank space between the items by typing print open and close parenthesis and press enter. Next, let's work on the fourth and last item. For this list, I want to determine if a specific value is within the list. We first need to create an input statement. Type number equals int open parenthesis input open parenthesis quotation which number would you like to check for in the list colon close the quotation close the parenthesis twice as there are two preceding opening parentheses and press enter. The input statement reads a value of a variable from the input device, in this case, the keyboard. This will display the string literal which number would you like to check for in the list. Now, type as number equal open bracket I for I in list 1 if open parenthesis number in list 1 close parenthesis close the bracket and press enter. Next, type print open parenthesis f quotation does the list contain open curly bracket number close curly bracket colon quotation plus str open parenthesis bool open parenthesis is number close the parenthesis 3 times as there are 3 preceding opening parentheses and press enter. The F preceding the input statement means formatted string literals, and it is a way to format your string that is more readable and fast. The word number embedded in curly brackets will pull in the number value that was input above from the input statement. Python has a built-in string class named str with many useful features. String literals can be enclosed by either double or single quotes, although single quotes are more commonly used. The str function converts the specified value into a string. The bool function returns the Boolean value of a specified object. If the number input is within the list, the bool function will return as true. If the value is not within the list, the bool function will return false. Now, let's run the module and confirm the program that performs various list comprehensions. In the Python idle editor header, click Run, then click Run Module. After the idle shell opens, based on the code we input, Python outputs the initial list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The squared values method 1 and 2 return 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. The even values method 1 and 2 return 2, 4, 6, 8. The odd values method 1 and 2 return 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Let's check to see if number 9 is in the list. As previously mentioned, the code we input will return a Boolean value of true or false. If the value is in the list, it will return as true. If it is not in the list, it will return as false. Let's input number 9. As number 9 is in the list, Python returns true. Thank you for watching my video. If you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos to YouTube. I'll see you next week with a new Python video. Until next time, take care.